Hey guys, today's video is a little bit out of nowhere. It was not my original plan for Saturday's video. My original plan was to do one of these two awesome kits, the new Defiler or the new Imperial Knight. These were very kindly sent to me by Underworld Gaming, but they did only arrive today. And today I'm speaking to you is Friday. This video is out tomorrow. So I didn't obviously have enough time to get them done. So you can look forward to those videos, an independent video for both those next week and the week after. So they should be really good. The Defiler is going to come first. I'm very excited by that. So I thought to myself, what am I going to do for this extra video? And then one of the recent videos that I did that you guys seem to really enjoy, and I got a really nice bunch of kind of positive comments and stuff, was the retro Ghazghkull that I did, that second edition Ork Ghazghkull, and the idea that I would like to do a second edition Ork army, a proper Space Ork army, and you guys seem to really enjoy that as a concept, so I thought, why the hell not do the next video in that series? So in today's video, I'm going to be painting up my first squad of second edition Ork boys to go alongside Ghazghkull on the tabletop. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to play around a little bit more with ice yellow, which a lot of people said that's the color that I was missing to get that real vibrancy out of my Ork skin. So I'm going to add that in and see what happens. Should be fun. Before I get into it, as always, huge thank you to everyone that continues to support Mediocre Hobbies in all the different ways it is possible to do so, like watching the videos, liking, commenting if any questions or anything you want to say, and making sure you're subscribed to all three channels. We have Old World Wednesday, Middle Earth Monday, and of course Mediocre Hobbies itself, 3 channels, all dedicated to giving you the most amount of hobby possible in a week. And obviously, if you want to take that extra step, you can check out the Patreon linked down below. That keeps the lights on, the cameras rolling. Without Patreon, I literally could not do this. So for all you guys, you are awesome. You get a whole bunch of extra benefits for being signed up to the Patreon. You get extra videos, you get access to the podcast, you get a private Discord server, and a whole bunch of other things, including my favorite thing, which is being able to give back every month. I give back a large box set to my Patreon guys. One of you guys will win it. This month, we are giving away the Eldritch Raiders box set. This is another thing very kindly given to me by Underworld Gaming. Their link will obviously be down below as well. So yes, one lucky patron at any tier will win that at the end of this month. So we win a chance, check it out below. Okay, that's enough waffling. Let's get painting orcs. Okay, this is my tub of second edition orcs. I've got some orcs and some Gretchen, and that's all I basically have. I've already taken out the 10 that I was planning on working on for this video. That quickly turned into 5. There's more painting on these guys than I thought. But this is the basic orc sculpt. There's only one sculpt, one pose. That's all you get. So it's going to be the same guy repeated. Like I said, I thought 10 times, but it's going to be 5 times. I did put a little bit more effort into these guys than I think a lot of people back in the day did, to make them kind of pop and stand out a little bit more. And originally I'd taken out ones that were sprayed really nice that the previous owner, some kid 30 years ago or whatever, sprayed them white. And I thought he did a pretty good job assembling, but when I did take a closer look, I did see that no mold lines had ever been removed. And there was just some issues. So I went in and I scraped away all the mold lines on these miniatures. They need to be applied to the base. I removed any extra flashing and got them glued on properly. And if there's any that were kind of a little bit more weird, like there was an arm that was just glued on weird, so I snapped that off as gently as possible, removed the old peg, tidied up the other joint, and then glued it back together again in a more kind of appropriate pose, which was nice to see the model return to its kind of proper construction. After this was done, I took the models out and I gave them a nice spray coat of Wraithbone, just to get a nice warm pale color to start with for applying all the contrast base coats that I want to do. So like I said at the beginning, I wanted to do 10. That's just, as soon as I was putting on like the faces, the contrast orc flesh on all their skin, and I realized how long it was going to take, I quickly adjusted my number for the day for 5. And even still, it took way longer. Actually currently editing, and it's 25 to 8 on Friday evening. So yeah, it's been a long day. So yeah, orc flesh contrast was applied to all of the skin. Then we moved over to Blood Angel's red contrast because I want the primary kind of pop of color on these guys to be red. Obviously that usually signifies them to be speed freaks, but there will be quite a lot of black in there as well, shoulder pads and stuff. So you could kind of have them as a cross between a goth and a speed freak, I guess, which would allow me to take all the bikes and buggies and stuff, but then also let me take Ghazghkull and all his knobs and stuff. So yeah, the Ghazghkull that I painted up has a lot of red in him as well, which I know is not traditional, but I want these guys to, although I want them to be a traditional second edition army, I want them to be my second edition army. So red and black it is for me. So applying the Black Templar, or sorry, the Black Legion contrast, taking my time, painting the underneath, all those kind of extra bits. You'll see Wildwood here, and then you'll see my hand be mostly brown, Maybe the lid wasn't fully tightened on the paint when I shook it and it exploded. Did that also happen with the red earlier? Let's not talk about that either. But anyway, wild wood was then used for the boots and his kind of belt and pouches and stuff that run around the body. From here we moved on to skeleton horde for the horns coming out of the top of his helmet. Simple, quick step, but it'll add another nice kind of splash of color to these models. Like I said, I'm planning on making this into a series. People seem to enjoy seeing second edition armies come together and getting built and painted, and then games being played with them. And obviously I've got quite a close friend who's doing second edition Blood Angels. So I guess I'm building this force with the intention of playing against his second edition Blood Angels and maybe doing a battle report for you guys and sharing it on the channel. I have had an awesome fan of the channel reach out, and he does have a whole heap of second edition orcs, mostly metals, that he is willing to sell me at a reasonable price. Obviously these miniatures are worth money, so I wouldn't expect them to be given to me or anything like that. So I just need to figure out what my offer is and what parts of his collection I would like to take my hands on. I don't own a second edition Ork codex. I wish I did. I would love to just decide with my friend what points we're doing. 1500 seems to be what second edition was all about. And then writing that list and then just trying to build that. So maybe that's something I'll try and do if I can get my hands on a PDF of something of the rules. Ancient gold was used for the rest of the trim detail around the horns, the design on his belt buckle, and he's got a little skull symbol on his left shoulder pad, which we did as well. With that applied and waiting for that fully to dry, it was time to start shading the model. So we serif and sepiaed the entire miniature head to toe. And then while that was drying, we also threw the texture paste on the base of the miniature. I'm using Dark Earth from AK Interactive. It's my favorite textured paste for most of the projects that I do. So it's nice to get that solid coat on this model. Obviously when applying a shade, I'm careful not to overload the miniature. You can see I'm putting on quite a lot, but I do remove a lot and move it around. So I get something like this, a nice smooth coat of shade across the model, which means it's ready to start the layering process. So Warpstone and Moot Green. The new addition is this ice yellow. A lot of the comments in the last one when I talked about I couldn't make the skin pop like I wanted to, they said the magic ingredient that I was missing was ice yellow. Well, AK did send me a bunch of paints many years ago and I never really did much with them. But I went and had a look and I did have ice yellow. So basically what I did is I did a straight mid-tone with Warpstone Glow, which is what I'm applying here. And then I did a highlight of Moot Green, which is where I left it off before with Ghazghkull. But then I went an extra step and I mixed Moot Green in with Ice Yellow to give me an extra final highlight, which did indeed make the skin pop the way I wanted it. And it left me with the result. So that's what I will be following for the rest of the second edition Orks. Doesn't mean I'm going to have to go back to my Ghazghkull, mix some Moot Green and Ice Yellow together and do one last touch of a highlight on his skin, just to make sure that he matches in with the rest of the Orks in this army. So there's that Ice Yellow mix going on now. And you can see I'm using it very sparingly. It's only on the very kind of sharpest details. A little bit across his lip and chin. But you can see it is making the skin come alive, making it pop exactly like I wanted it to. So it may look like I'm just painting one guy, but I'm actually painting 5 guys at the same time. You will see that here at the end. Time to work on the red now. So Evil Sunz Scarlet, Wild Rider Red, and Towlight Ochre. Evil Sunz Scarlet is obviously the mid-tone. So as you can see, I'm going in here and painting most of the red surface. I'm just leaving all those dark shaded lines in between all the panels nice and dark. And that goes for all the other armor sections. It's just the deepest recesses and crevices we want to leave alone. And then the Evil Sunz Scarlet goes on kind of the rest of the sections. After that, we move up to the Wild Rider Red, which is this one here. And as you can see, it's a lot less. Just going on kind of sharpest details in the middle of the armor panels and little plates and stuff like that. It's probably a 25% coverage over the armor plates as opposed to the last one, which is like 80. And then we go in with that little tiny highlight of the Towlight Ochre at the very end, just hitting the tops of bolts and the very sharpest corners of armor panels, just to make that armor pop and look really nice. I wanted to try and make that as visible as possible, so I do show me doing it on the back of the model as well. You can see I'm just aiming for the corners. And then just tiny little touches across armor panels. It doesn't turn the model not looking red. It just adds a nice little extra highlight and it works a treat. Okay, from here we're going over to Corvus Black and layering up all the black sections. So his pants, his kind of belt buckle area, his big awesome shoulder pads. And he's also got like a disc piece of armor on his middle of his back that I'm doing in black as well. My plan is I do actually have the awesome stamping plates that eBay Miniature Rescue and Goobertown did. They did send me over the whole first wave of those guys. I need to get my grips with them, learn how to use them properly, but they've got a beautiful orc plate, and I plan on using that to apply some glyphs and stuff to all these big blank shoulder pads. That's why I'm not doing a lot with them right now. I'm going to leave them the way they are, just that Corvus Black mid-tone. I'm not going to go for a highlighter, any weathering, because I think some stamps would really, really suit this project. So I'm going to do that. Some Zandri dust and Morghast bone used to highlight those horns on the helmet. And obviously with the second edition stuff, it's supposed to be like gaudy and bright and eccentric, and that's kind of what I'm trying to follow along with. So even those horns, you know, I'm not trying to feather in from the bottom and leave like nice dark recesses. They're supposed to look like big cartoon Viking horns sticking out of a helmet, like. So I finished dry brushing up the base and then rimming the base black. I got it all out of the way before I highlighted the boots, because obviously I wanted to try and make them look as neat as possible. I think I went a little bit too bright with the Mournfang, so I ended up only doing it on 2 of the orcs, and then I just left the rest, the kind of dark contrasted bit that they were. I don't think anyone's going to be looking at the boots, and I'm going to be using some kind of grass tufts and shrubs and stuff on the base like this that will hide any of the boots that I wasn't really happy with. So these are the finished Ork boys from 2nd edition. Like I said, they just need a couple of stamps. This is the standard. I want to take that entire project to. I think these will look fantastic on an old 2nd edition board, and they look really cool. And like I promised, here's all 5 of these guys done, ready to stand next to the new, or the old Ghazghkull, and fight alongside and protect him. So I was very happy with how these guys turned out. Like I said, I've got another like 25 of these guys to paint. I've got a whole bunch of Gretchen, and then obviously I've got to get my hands on a couple of other big pieces for you guys to see. Here he is standing next to Ghazghkull, looking awesome. Thank you guys so much for sticking around at the end. I'll see you in the next one.